this video, I'm going to be sharing with you about mental pictures and parallel realities. This is a powerful shifting technique that I think will change your life. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you that of a shifting technique that you can apply in your life starting today, and it has to do with understanding outcome. Now this doesn't mean that we're necessarily attached to the outcome, but this is something that when we begin to dial in on, we begin to refine our vibration and we begin to experience what we want. Because as you may have heard me say many times, we get in life a reflection of our vibration. Our vibration is a combination of what we think, how we feel, and how we act. When we change these three things, we then change our reality. Now the glue to these three things many times is actually our self-image. So let me ask you a question. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as successful? Do you see yourself as able to be in a happy relationship? Do you see yourself as being able to be abundant when it comes to finances? Do you see yourself as healthy? How do you see yourself? Because the way you see yourself is going to be the way that you think, act, and feel, and then you will continue to experience realities that are conductive to that vibration. Now, when it comes to parallel realities, understand that, let me just first off explain a little bit about parallel realities in case you haven't seen some of my other videos before, and just to kind of refresh it as well, because it'll help us understand how we use this shifting technique. Now, the idea and the understanding of parallel realities is that we're shifting billions of times per second from parallel reality to parallel reality. Now, that might seem like a lot, billions of times per second, but think about it. If there's one variable that has changed, it's a completely separate reality. So while we may be over here relating to ourselves in a certain way, there may be a fly that goes a little bit in this direction instead of this direction. Well, those are two separate, totally different realities, even though I may look almost the exact same. But understanding that we are shifting between these different frames of reality every second helps us understand how much we are already shifting without even knowing it. So when it comes to shifting parallel realities, understand that the only moment that exists is this moment right now. We experience time, but time doesn't exist in the way that we think it does. What we think of as movement, what we think of as time, is movement through these different parallel realities. So if I were to right now on the editing software to stretch out this video that I'm doing, I would be able to stop it, stretch it out, and then see all these different frames of me going like this and like this and like this and like this. And as I'm doing all of these different movements, I can see that they're all individual frames, but it looks like one long fluid movement. However, that's just because we have memory and we are able to tie all these realities together. Now, the reason I say all of this is because what I want to begin to put your attention on is that you can really let go of the past. The mental pictures you have about who you are, if you are tying it to your past, you will continue to create your past over and over again. People have a certain mental picture about what kind of relationship they deserve, and guess what? They continue to experience that pattern over and over again until they become aware of it. So you become aware of it, you then let go of the past. And the other powerful thing about understanding parallel realities is that as you change in the present moment right now, you also change which pasts you connect to. So if you're confident right now, it's easier for you to remember other times in your past when you were confident. It's also easier to imagine other times in your future where you may be confident. If you feel unworthy right now, it'll be easy for you to remember times in your past when you're unworthy. And in the same way, imagine the future that's unworthy. However, in the present moment right now, depending on your state, that's going to be which realities you connect to. So they both exist right now. That's the powerful thing, is they both exist. It's about redefining yourself in the present moment. So that's the power of parallel realities. Understanding also, you're always shifting. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're shifting because you're moving. So anytime you're moving, you are creating this change. The question is not, can you shift parallel realities? Because you're doing it already. The question is, can you create a greater degree of change between your current reality and where you want to be? Now, how do you do that? Well, when it comes to this, the best way to do this is to simply make a new choice. It is a choice. It is a choice to get out of the pain. It is a choice to do something that you haven't done before. it is a choice to move into a new timeline. Now, there's a certain momentum of the timeline you're currently on. The timeline you're currently on, there's a certain momentum that you have going. If you were to make new choices, you deviate that timeline. And maybe you like the timeline you're on. Maybe you're like, I imagine if I keep doing what I'm doing right now, I'm going to move up in my company, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Then that's totally cool. However, many people want to shift to a more probable timeline of something they want to experience. Now, the way you do that is through your choices. It's through what are you choosing right now in the present moment. Now, you can either be motivated by pain or pleasure. Some people, I know in my life, I had a lot of pain with working a job I didn't like, so I made the choice to put everything I had into something else. There have been times in my past when I felt a lot of emotional pain from my past, and I made the choice to then deal with it and to then, in a way, embrace my past, transform my past, and then I did, but I had to make that choice. So it's about understanding the power of choice. Now, when it comes to mental images, here's the new part of the video. I had to kind of give that as a basis to lay the groundwork for everything I'm going to share with you now. In the present moment right now, whatever you are focusing on, you are drawing upon that energy. Now, let me say what I mean about that. If I focus on, for example, Tony Robbins, his content, I will start to become more empowered. I will start to feel more empowered. My solar plexus may light up a little bit more, and I'll feel more going in a certain direction because I'm drawing upon that energy. If I were to study somebody that was study something to do with the third eye and listen to some speaker that's talking about the third eye, I may start to become more intuitive because whatever you focus on, you draw upon. By you focusing on my videos, you are, in a way, we are sharing our energy together, and you are bringing some of my qualities into your life, whether you're aware of it or not. In the same way, whoever you are watching, you are drawing upon qualities of them. It's almost like an energetic exchange, even if you're not physically there. You may be around somebody or see somebody that's very funny. Well, by focusing on them, you're bringing more of that fun into your life. You are constantly exchanging energy with whatever you are focusing on. And when you become aware of this, you can then start to focus on what you want to be more like. So there was a time I was watching a lot of vloggers, and there's nothing wrong with vloggers. I like vloggers. But I was watching certain vloggers that do certain things or do pranks or whatever. And after watching them, I realized that yes, things are becoming more fun, but I also realized that when I was going to bed at night, I would be having these crazy dreams. And it wasn't necessarily feeding the kind of person that I prefer to become. It was more so feeding this, not escape, but just, it was for entertainment purposes, but it wasn't feeding me in any way, in a positive way necessarily. And I realized this, and what I did is I started watching other things. I started watching things that I knew would serve me. So the key for me has been to always focus on things that I know will give me some sort of dividend. Dividend meaning like something that comes back to me. Now, when it comes to mental pictures, understand, like we were talking about a minute ago, everything we focus on, we're having an energy exchange with. Think about the mental picture, a picture in your mind of you living your best life. You doing exactly what you want to be doing. Maybe you're traveling the world. Maybe you are in a great relationship. Maybe you are owning your own business. Maybe you are with your family and you feel healthy. Whatever it is, imagine and see that in your mind as a mental picture. As you focus on that version of you, which, by the way, parallel realities show us that that version of you already exists, because all realities we can imagine exist right now. It is simply about increasing the probability of it, and you increase the probability of it when you start to be in that vibration, how you think, act, and feel. But using the imagination you have to see the mental picture you have of the best quality version of you, understand that as you focus on that version of you, you are bringing more of that version of you into this reality. So you can begin to see how powerful that is. And for this process, what I recommend you do is I'm going to link a parallel reality meditation. It's one of my most powerful meditations below. It's going to be on the top of the description box. I say listen to it for 21 days. It'll change your life. Read the comments just to see what is possible as well. That's going to be there because when it comes to parallel realities, it's about really giving yourself permission to shift. Because you'll shift and then you'll say, well, what about this? What about that? What about my past? What about all these things? What about all my friends? What do they think? What do my family think? All of these things that you're thinking about, that's pulling you back into the old reality. Stop affirming the old reality with your thoughts, feelings, and actions. The more that you feed it, the more that you will experience it over and over again. If you start affirming the reality you want to experience, hold that frame. Hold that frame from within. Know that that's something that will serve you. There's a certain level of conviction here. And one of the things I'm doing with this video is showing you that shifting is as easy as a choice. We just may believe that it has to be harder. You know, with manifestation techniques, beliefs create our reality, that we'll have a belief that this stuff is really hard to do. It does not have to be hard to do. Instead, it can be something that you do, that you see, is something that you can give yourself permission to right now. You can give yourself permission right now to shift. You can give yourself permission right now to act and to be and to feel as that version of you. And think about it. A lot of times we will only give ourselves permission to feel a certain way once X, Y, Z happens. It's just a thought in the mind. It's a thought in the mind because all realities exist now. Give yourself permission now to feel the wholeness, the completeness, the happiness. Think about the best version of you, what you would be doing, what would you be feeling, what would you be thinking. And imagine the qualities of that version of you, the qualities, the values, the way that that version of you is, the way that version of you relates to other people, the body language of that version of you. Even as you think about this right now, you are drawing upon the qualities of that mental picture in your mind of that version of you. And you are bringing more of that into your life experience. And that's the power of mental pictures. Mental pictures with emotion. Remember, the mental picture is only there to give you some type of form or way of feeling that level of emotion anyways. The visualization itself is a symbol of what you want to experience that allows you to feel a certain emotion from within your body. And as you feel that emotion from within your body, you will draw upon more opportunities and synchronicities in your life that reflect that change within you. But it's about understanding that it's more about the emotion than it is about the actual image, the mental image. This is a combination of the head to the heart. The head to the heart, not just the head of the mental pictures, not even just the feeling. It's the combination of both. Set the intention. The intention is the plan. It is the putting it into the direction that you want to experience. That is where the power is. And you start to tap into that when you start to have that mental picture in your mind. Become clear. So many people I see, they just don't have the clear goals. They don't even know what they want. They're like, what do you want? You're like, I don't know, or I want to do. It's very general. Be clear as to what you want. Because the clarity gives you that momentum. It gives you that direction and that momentum that you can draw upon. But know that the reality you want to experience already exists. You can literally connect to that version of you and draw upon the energy now to see what you can do right now to be in that vibrational state. Remember, your reality that you experience is always equal to the vibration you are putting out. Your vibration is a combination of what you think, how you feel, and how you act. And when you imagine the best possible version of you, you are drawing upon the qualities and the vibration of that version of you. And then what you do is you start to embody it in the present moment by giving yourself permission now. There are actions you can do to do so. Sounds like a broken record when I say this. I get it. I understand. But when I went full-time on YouTube, I treated as if full-time YouTube was already my job. Because I knew that I'd get into the vibrational state of it. So I made daily videos while I had a job I didn't care about. I say that because that was the vibrational state that I preferred to be in. What vibrational state do you prefer to be in? What do you prefer to be doing? Is it creating art? Because if so, make art every day, or consistently, or be passionate about, or read about it. Put your energy into what you're passionate about, into the mental picture of the best possible version of you. And know what that is. Know what that looks like, know what that feels like, know what actions you take, know all of that. Because remember, whatever you focus on, you are drawing upon the qualities of that. So pay attention to where you put your focus, because wherever you put your focus is where you are drawing upon that energy. So this is about understanding the power of mental pictures, also the power of mental pictures on your subconscious mind. Powerful technique you can do before you go to bed is to imagine the best possible reality you want to experience as if you already experience it. Put your hands over your heart and feel it as you're going to bed. Allow yourself to sink into sleep while feeling the gratitude for already being in that reality. That will influence your subconscious mind in a powerful way. But remember, it's about the emotion, not just the thinking, not just like, oh, I really hope this happens, a certain picture in my mind. Instead, allow yourself to absorb into your heart center and to combine the head and the heart. When you combine both of these things, very powerful things begin to happen. So, this is what is available for you. And like I said, the most powerful shifting meditation I have, it allows you to give yourself permission to really shift and to let go of the old story. That's what makes it such a powerful meditation. That's why it has over 500,000 views, I think. It's my highest viewed meditation. Go click this on the top of the description box. 21 days is what I recommend, because that will really allow you to let go of different layers that come up, really allow you to affirm that new reality. And you'll see that in the top of the description box below. Also, I'll be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. So if you want to see me, you can ask me questions. I also interact a lot over there and do daily posts as well. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, you'll see that right over here. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification here so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.